Okay, greetings and welcome to Biology Talks by Cajigal. Now, probably you might have noticed that most of my posts in social media are astronomy related facts. Like I'm posting pictures of the moon or the planets. Astronomy is a hobby which I fell in love with, but my major really is biology. My undergrad is biology, my master's is also biology. So, I have two sides of me. So, I'm an amateur astronomer, and at the same time, I am also a biologist. And there are so many questions, especially about viruses. So I would like to share my expertise on this field. So let's study what viruses are. Now, viruses technically they are composed of a protein coat. It's a submicroscopic infectious particle which is composed mainly of a coat of protein and a nucleic acid core. So, ang ibig lang sabihin po nito, ang isang virus, submicroscopic siya. That means that hindi nyo siya makikita using an ordinary microscope. So you need a more powerful instrument like an electron microscope to examine a viral particle. And a virus is just composed of a coat of protein, a protein coat called a capsid, and a nucleic acid core. So when you say nucleic acid, we are referring to either DNA, yeah, I'm sure you know what DNA stands for, deoxyribonucleic acid, or RNA, which is ribonucleic acid. So that's it. Very simple in structure, very primitive. So at least they have two parts. So that protein coat called the capsid and a nucleic acid core. The nucleic acid core is either DNA or RNA, okay, but not both. So it's either DNA or RNA as their genetic material. Okay, very simple. Okay, so that's what a virus is. And, viruses are often considered non-living for several reasons. But hey, wait, non-living. Why is it that a virus has a nucleic acid core? Because we know that all living things, they also have their own genetic material. But viruses are often considered as non-living because of the following reasons. Number one, they do not grow by increasing in size. Number two, they cannot carry out independent metabolism. So that means that a virus would need a host cell so that a virus can carry out independent metabolism. Anyway, we will discuss that later. Okay. And they do not respond to external stimuli. And they don't have cellular structures. So they don't have a cell membrane, they don't have a cytoplasm, they don't have the usual organelles like the mitochondria. Basically, none of those structures except probably for DNA or RNA. And I'm sure if you're a biology major or if you have studied your biology, all living things are made up of what? Cells. All living things, they respond to stimuli. All living things grow. All living things undergo metabolism. None of those characteristics are manifested by a viral particle. None. That's why viruses are often considered as non-living things, except probably for the genetic material. That's why viruses are, they are halfway between living and non-living. So that's what they are. Okay, what about types of viruses? Now, viruses are classified by number one, the type of nucleic acid they contain. And another mode of classification would be on the shape of their protein capsule. So with this, viruses can be classified as what? In terms of the nucleic acid composition. So we have DNA viruses, right? And RNA viruses. So what are examples of DNA viruses? So we have what? Adenoviruses and bacteriophage. So if you will notice, in a bacteriophage virus, it is DNA that is inside the protein coat. Then we also have RNA viruses like influenza virus contains RNA as its genetic material. Or even the tobacco mosaic virus is an RNA virus. And even COVID-19. COVID-19 has RNA as its genetic material. Okay, regarding the shape of viruses may come in different shapes. Like some viruses are icosahedral, some are enveloped, like COVID-19. COVID-19 is classified as an enveloped virus. And we have a helical virus, like tobacco mosaic virus. It's helical. Okay, so that's how viruses are classified. And they are so small that you need an electron microscope. Okay, and here's a T4 bacteriophage. The bacteriophage are viruses that infect bacteria. By the name itself, bacteriophage. Okay, bacteriophage means bacteria eating agent. So the shape of the bacteriophage reminds you of the lunar module. So it has a head, tail, and tail fibers like the legs of the Apollo lunar module. Okay, also we have what we call a retrovirus. Now, a retrovirus uses RNA instead of DNA as a nucleic acid core. So, meaning that they can synthesize DNA using RNA as the nucleic acid core. How is that possible? They contain an enzyme called reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase detranscribes the RNA sequence in the virus into a DNA strand. Like HIV. So the HIV virus is classified as a retrovirus. Okay, so how does a virus multiply? Remember, viruses cannot undergo metabolism of their own. So that means a virus needed a host cell in order to multiply. Let me give you an analogy to describe how viruses multiply. Okay, so they're like parasites basically. So viruses must carry out reproduction by entering or parasitizing a host cell. They cannot multiply outside the living cell. Kaya nga 'di ba yung coronavirus, they can only stay on the surface for several hours and they die eventually. So they needed a host cell so that they can multiply and reproduce. Okay, let me give you an analogy. So, are you familiar with the movie Alien? Okay, the Alien. So, in the movie Alien, look at the picture. We have here this alien creature. So, this alien creature attaches itself to the human host. And this alien creature injects something into the human host. Like eggs, for example. And the eggs will develop inside the human host, and after several days, a mature alien creature emerges from the abdomen of the human host, eventually killing the human host. That's how a virus multiplies, ladies and gentlemen. So we have here an animation of how a virus multiplies. So first, a virus attaches itself to the host cell. Then, using its tail fibers, it penetrates into the cell and injects its genome into the host cell. Okay, then after penetration, the nucleic acid inside the host cell takes over the cell's metabolic machinery. So there's some sort of what do you call this, a coup d'etat going on inside the cell. Okay, so the viral nucleic acid takes over the cell's machinery like ribosomes and other organelles, and the virus begins to replicate. Okay, and using the metabolism of the cell and its organelles, viral components are now assembled into new viruses inside the host cell. And once the viruses are fully assembled, they are released, killing the host cell. See, that's how they multiply. So this is what we call lytic cycle. Okay. Alright, so in terms of viral diseases in humans are controlled by what? Preventing transmission, like what we are doing now. We are now in quarantine, so we are minimizing transmission of COVID-19 para hindi kumalat, hindi tayo maghawaan. And the only solution for that is the development of vaccine. Okay, kaya nga sabi nga ng ating presidente, we must come up with a vaccine immediately in order to combat COVID-19. Yun lang yung sagot, yung vaccine na yan. Okay? Alright, so I hope that I was able to share some information about viruses. So let's take care of our health. Let's try to minimize the transmission of COVID-19. Stay safe and stay at home.